sets that aren't available from it, so be sure to check that out if you like base building. Alright, after you've been satisfied thoroughly by building your first base, it's time to launch off into space and travel to the nearest space station. Most star systems will have one of these that's functional, and you're going to want to make a stop there every time you jump into a new system just to take a look around. To get inside, you just have to approach the part that looks like an opening, and once you get close enough, there will be an automated landing sequence to take you in. Since launch, the space stations have gone over quite a few makeovers, and now there's a big variety of them, including some non-main faction ones that you can find in other systems, but I'll leave those for you to discover. Once you're inside, take some time to take a look around and familiarize yourself with the layout of one of these basic stations. But once you're ready, here you're going to need some cash, and since the upcoming objectives are going to require you buy some parts, a smart thing to do early on is to invest in some technology for your suit, either S or A class scanning modules specifically to massively increase the units you're going to gain from scanning plants, minerals, and different creatures, turning exploration into a basically steady income flow. And when trading, remember that markets actually make a difference, so scanning for hot prices can make you a lot more units than just farming. Plus, talking properly to aliens, like learning words, prevents some accidental hostility and can earn you a few extra credits too. Another quick way to earn is to scan the planet's surface for either 2 or 3 star valuable items or objects, and raid abandoned buildings for some loot. Just be careful if you decide to steal eggs from the infested sites, because those creatures will kill you quick. Park your ship nearby if you're going to do that, for a good way to get away fast if you need to. While at stations, you'll also notice that there are boosted slots in your suit, ship, or even multi-tool. These actually give you extra performance boosts for whatever module you put in them. So swapping, depending on your activity, will give you a massive boost to, say, movement if you put a movement booster in there to give your tanks and recharge rate a nice healthy bump up. This is another one of those things I really wish I had known early game, because dang could it have helped when I needed to attack things or defend myself, but now you know that information and you're not going to suffer like I did. Another thing you want to do every time you're at a space station is look to purchase a new slot for your exosuit inventory or your technology modules. This is something you should just keep doing every time you visit a new space station, because you can only do it once at each space station. Each time you do it, you're gonna have to spend a little money though, so make sure you got a little bit of cash on hand. I wouldn't recommend doing it though for your multi-tool, because the cost just gets steeper as you add more slots, and it might be better just to save for a new multi-tool later on. But if you wanted to get some free upgrades, you could also go look for some Sigma boosters at planetary outposts, which will point you to some drop pods scattered across planetary surfaces. You'll have to fix up the pod a little bit, but it will give you a free suit slot afterward, and it's also worth noting that you can find these simply by flying close to the surface of a planet and scanning continually till you run across one, though it can be quite rare on some planets. Well, it's a bit beyond this guide. When you want to get some new multi-tools or ships, you can also find those at stations and outposts. Just look for S or A class ones before you get it, because anything less is kind of a waste of money, so you want to save up for those. Ships can also be salvaged from emergency distress signal charts, which you can purchase from the cartographer, which will lead you to crashed ships. You just have to repair it to claim one, and even if you don't want it, you can actually salvage it at a space station to use the parts later on for making your own ship. And if you are one of those people who's played a while and you wanted to give a tip to get a free multi-tool, I searched for this for hours and I could not find any way to get a new free multi-tool anymore. It seems like this is something that's been removed from the game or has been made so incredibly rare that it's not a very consistent thing to guide a new player to. So if you run across a free one, good for you, but it's not something I can generally advise. And one last thing, because this just came out while I was making this new player guide, how do you make your very first Corvette? Well, that's pretty simple. All you gotta do is go on over to the larger part of the hangar. You can find the teleporter pads to it in the corner in the main area of any station, and it'll take you out to the Corvette creation kiosk. Now, you're gonna need a lot of money in order to start to make one of these. You'll need an assortment of basic parts, and once you do that, you'll have to assemble it on the floor with landing gear, modules, an access port, engines, a cockpit, and so forth. And as you play the game, you'll be able to find more parts to attach to your ship by looking for salvageable scrap on planets. You'll see them pop up when you're scanning various planets if you want to find those parts. You can barter for them as well if you want to get different ones, if you've already got a set of parts that you don't want. But this is by no means meant to be an extensive guide. This is definitely something more advanced and beyond the new player experience. I don't expect you to be able to do this early on, but just in case you wanted to know how to get started. At this point, you should be feeling quite accomplished. You've learned a lot about No Man's Sky, but there's still one big leap you've not made yet, and that's leaving your star system. In order to do that, the next big step is to craft your hyperdrive. And to do that, you're gonna follow your guide, where you're gonna have to buy some microprocessors at the local space station merchant and then install your hyperdrive on your ship. From there, it's time for you to jump out into space for the first time. By hitting M as you're out in space, you can open up your star map and select the location that you want to jump to. Now by default, you should get a dotted line that shows you the next star system closest to you that's going to lead you towards the center of the galaxy. Now this is tied to the story of the game, which is leading you to the center to discover a mystery. But you can actually go anywhere you want. And at this point, the universe is now open for you to explore. And if you're looking for some more structured stuff to play, you can also check out the expeditions that you'll find through the Anomaly. That's actually the update they just dropped recently. There's a new expedition called Voyagers, and that's the one I told you guys about at the beginning of the video, where you can earn a bunch of stuff, including getting your own medium-sized ship to fly around with friends or alone, depending on what you want to do, and you can customize it. It's super cool, and it's definitely worth coming back for or checking out if you're just getting the game now. But a lot of the rewards are timed for these community-wide events, and they're seasonal, so be sure to check it out while you still can. Again, link in the description if you've not gotten into the game just yet. But if you wanted to play with some friends, don't forget that No Man's Sky also supports seamless multiplayer on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, so you can jump in with friends straight from the menu and explore together. And if you don't have any friends playing right now, well, you can always head on over to my Armco community and find a few over there. Link down in the description. So if this guide helped you, or if I missed a tip that you think fellow travelers would want to know, please make sure to let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, if you liked the video, you know what to do, and I hope to see you in the next one.